Copsey with a question, please.
Thank you, President. My question is to the Minister for Housing. There's a public housing estate of 36 units across 1 to 9 Alamein Avenue, Ashburton. On the 5th of August 2023, there was a fire at number 1 causing significant damage. The units damaged by the fire and those that were left unoccupied by tenants who have been relocated were left open and unsecured. 10 units across 4 buildings are still occupied, and residents such as Karen and Chris have told my office that they've felt unsafe for months. Squatters coming and going regularly, and there are mounds of rubbish to climb across to get up the stairs. My colleague Samantha Ratnam wrote to you about this site last month, and then literally yesterday, 7 months after the fire, housing staff and police arrived at the site to finally secure the damaged and unoccupied units. Minister, is it acceptable that public tenants need to wait 7 months for their homes to be made secure?
Minister.
Thanks, President. Thank you for that question. And in the first instance, I want to acknowledge that any tragedy or damage or loss that is sustained across anyone's home, whether it's in rental accommodation, whether it's in a home ownership situation, whether it's in social housing, whether it's in temporary housing, can be really devastating. And the loss of that measure of safety and security is really significant. So there are a range of steps that are taken upon damage to properties that are about ensuring that tenants, that residents are given appropriate, safe and secure accommodation and that their homes are fit for purpose. There is also a process which is about assessment and about upgrades and whether there are any structural remediation works that can be undertaken to ensure that a property can be restored to a fit state prior to renters moving back in again to that accommodation. In the first instance, I'm really happy to get further information for you, or indeed for Dr. Ratnam, who you've just indicated wrote to me in February. So we're just at the start of, February. So we're in March now. Yeah, okay, last month. So why don't I have a conversation with both of you perhaps just about the progress of that work. But to be really, really clear, we want to make sure that in bringing down the backlog of maintenance, upgrade and repair and in funding additional work that's needed across our stock, we're addressing that need as the population grows, and also noting that the standard lifespan itself for a social housing dwelling is about 45 years. So we're not short of challenges and opportunities around making sure that upgrades occur in the right way, whether they occur because of fire or for some other reason. So why don't I get some further information for you on that particular matter and progress and the discussions that have been occurring with residents, and we can go from there.
Ms Copsey with supplementary.
Thank you, President. I thank the Minister for her answer. That would be most appreciated. Minister, Alamein Avenue is one of many public housing sites where I'm hearing about poor maintenance and cleaning being ongoing problems. Multiple constituents across my electorate who are also public housing tenants have raised that they feel their homes and estates are being deliberately run down. This includes a lack of responses to requests for either urgent or routine maintenance, poor or non-existent cleaning and lack of garden maintenance in common areas. Minister, you've been very clear about the government's decision to privatise public land and public housing through the ground lease model. Are these deliberate tactics? Are public housing sites being run down in order to justify Victorian Labor's agenda to privatise public housing sites across the state?
Minister.
Thank you, President. I want to be really clear. Community housing is not private housing. Community housing is as much part of the fabric of delivering on the record numbers of homes across the state as public housing. That's why I refer to social housing, because for-purpose, not-for-profit organisations that are there to support vulnerable communities who are either funded directly by government or government actually funds the work to invest in the buildings that they run and manage are integral to meeting that need around shortfall. So I absolutely categorically reject the premise of your question. What I would say is that we've provided maintenance services to over 64,000 dwellings at a cost of about $281 million, and we undertake 350,000 maintenance activities per year. We've got a comprehensive program of renewals, upgrades and planned maintenance, and we're continuing to work
Minister,
towards that
time to
and
expire.
reducing the shortfall.